I'm Jason UFC, and today we have a story about UFC middleweight contender Robert Whittaker sends a warning to the UFC middleweight champion Alex Pereira about fighting in the heavyweight division. You stay well away from the current heavyweight champion Jon Jones, is what Robert Whittaker is telling Pereira to do. UFC middleweight contender Robert Whittaker has given his thoughts on Alex Pereira potentially moving up to the heavyweight division. The current middleweight champion Alex Pereira. Right now, it's safe to say that Alex Pereira is one of the scariest fighters on the planet. The current UFC middleweight champion has, up to this point, dominated during his time in the UFC. He promoted the belt back, the UFC middleweight belt, at UFC 281, and next weekend he'll try to defend it against Israel Adesanya. In terms of who could be next in line, you have to imagine Robert Whittaker is on the short list. The former champion fight against Paulo Costa fell through, and now Robert Whittaker has been waiting for a matchup. However, it's been noted recently by Pereira's team that Pereira may consider a move to the heavyweight division from the middleweight division. During an episode of his recent podcast, Robert Whittaker gave his thoughts on the idea of Pereira moving up to heavyweight. I think the talk of him moving up in particular is very warranted because he's a huge dude. Wow. He's a monstrosity big, and he struggles with the cuts. I think he's 35 now as well, so the cuts aren't getting easier. I think the talk about him going to heavyweight is definitely warranted. I think he has to move. I think he has to move up in weight. That's interesting. Robert Whittaker's advice to Pereira. His striking is world caliber. I think he'd have a lot of success in heavier weight divisions. That's two of them. Robert Whittaker says, but I'd stay well away from Jon Jones. I'd seen Alex Pereira's wrestling. I'm not going to say it's terrible, but Alex Pereira, should stay well away from Jon Jones in the heavyweight division. That's interesting. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Pereira recently moving up in the middleweight division. When you think about moving up from the middleweight division, when you think about last year when Pereira won the title, there was one contender, Hamzat Chimaev, that was one of the first people to say that they wanted to fight Pereira, and Pereira offered to fight Chimaev, who's currently a welterweight. Pereira offered to fight Chimaev in the light heavyweight division, 205. So definitely something going on. Not like with him not making weight, but him just like, listen, I conquered the middleweight division. I don't really have anything else to prove. Maybe, maybe I'll defend my belt once and then I'll move up, and fight someone like Jamal Hill, who just defeated Glover Teixeira. There's smoke there. I don't know if Pereira is thinking about going all the way up to the heavyweight division. That's a it's almost 100 pounds, right? 185 to 265. So I mean, my goodness, he has to be a big boy. But I definitely would not be surprised if you see Pereira, if he defeats Israel Adesanya next weekend, excuse me. Is it this weekend? Yep, it is this weekend. Yes, this weekend. If you see Alex Pereira defeat Israel Adesanya this weekend at UFC 287? Is it 287? I believe it's 287. At UFC 287 in Miami. I would not be shocked if you see Pereira say, I'm going to go up to the light heavyweight division and challenge, the winner of Pauska versus Jamal Hill, or maybe challenge Hill, or, take a fight in the light heavyweight division. But going all the way up to the, heavyweight division, and the current champion is Jon Jones, that's a very, very different monster. I totally agree with Robert Whittaker. Like, Pereira's wrestling, everyone has something to say about Pereira's wrestling, but you know, if he's gonna face Jon Jones, and we saw what Jon Jones did to Cyril Gahn in under a minute because of his wrestling, and Jon Jones was out of action for 3 years, I kind of agree with Robert Whittaker. Don't go running up to the heavyweight division to fight someone like Jon Jones, at least not to fight someone like Jon Jones, right? But let me know your opinion of this story. Do you agree with Robert Whittaker that Alex Pereira should stay well away from Jon Jones? Or are you like Team Alex Pereira and say Jon Jones would get beat up and stopped by Pereira? I'm Jason, UFC. Today we had a story about UFC middleweight contender Robert Whittaker sends a warning to the UFC middleweight champion Alex Pereira about fighting in heavyweight division. Alex Pereira should stay well away from the current heavyweight champion Jon Bones Jones. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button, and please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.